Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing Am I the Asshole? And I am an asshole. And that's not me, yeah, it's you. L bozo, L take the L, bozo, L bozo, take the L bozo, take the L.
She's so smart.
Frankie thinks I'm talking to her.
Yeah,
Am I the asshole for refusing my late neighbor's adult kids his house after he left me most of his inheritance?
refusing my late neighbor's adult kid's house.
That's
Okay.
wild.
Oh, interesting. Okay, got it.
I had a neighbor, Grappa, who was more like family than just the man next door. After my dad died when I was 4, he became a huge part of our lives, constantly helping my mother and I financially and emotionally. Grappa's own kids lived states away and hardly ever visited, maybe 10 times in 24 years. He was lonely, and I became the closest thing he had to a grandson. That is adorable. In the last few months of his life, things got really bad. He lost control of his body and couldn't speak anymore. My mom moved in to care for him after doctors recommended house care, and I was there every day after classes. His kids didn't even show up until he was in the hospital 3 weeks before he passed. After he died, they stayed at his house while he waited for the will to be read. The lawyer had already sent notices, and I was initially surprised I received one. I was floored when the will revealed Grappa left me his 3-bedroom apartment in the city, which he had bought some years ago as an investment and was renting it out, and $50,000 while his own kids got $75,000 and his personal possessions. The kicker, Grappa willed his house to be sold with the money going to charity and his grandkids' college funds. They were livid and had a meltdown instantly, but couldn't contest that the will because it was watertight. After reading, the kids approached me privately. They told me to do the right thing and give them the apartment. They even offered me $50,000 under the table to hand it over, saying it was their rightful inheritance. I refused the ridiculously low offer. They then became vulgar and threatening and rather personal about my mom's relationship with Grappa. I wasn't actually willing for all these complications, and I was actually thinking of a favorable negotiation. This was the last straw that broke my back. I told them to go f themselves. I'm keeping it. One of them threatened to go public for whatever, I don't even know. She's a reporter, to smear my reputation and make it seem like I and my mom manipulated a lonely old man into giving me everything. I'm holding my ground, and now they're accusing me of taking advantage of him. Friends and even some family members are telling me I should have just taken their offer to avoid drama. I told them to f right off too. I'm lawyered up. Dude, make it public, bruh.
Yeah, make it. Yeah, what?
I would love to make a video about that.
Read the will out. Like,
yeah, show the will.
yeah.
You can't choose your family.
No, and also he left them stuff.
Also, you can't fucking choose your family. Just because it's your family doesn't mean you're entitled to shit.
Exactly.
It's not like a right, a birthright.
No.
This isn't feudalism.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't have to, you can, I love that idea. If I have shitty, or if I'm a terrible parent.
Yeah.
And I have like horrible, whatever, kids that hate me and stuff.
Yeah.
I would never expect, if I hated my parents, I would never expect anything from them.
Exactly.
If I hated my grandparents, I would never expect anything from them.
Yeah, if the relationship
That's
was
crazy.
The thing that's crazy is I was expecting the grandpa to leave them nothing.
Yeah.
He left them a substantial amount of things, you know? Still. Like
I say,
all the personal possessions, $75K. That's a lot.
I say dare to go public and then sue her.
And grandkids college
For all the inheritance.
Yeah.
Get the inheritance.
I don't know.
Get all of it. I would. F them. They suck. That should be a lesson they should be forced to teach.
Yeah, they're bad people.
That's crazy.
That's terrible.
Am I the asshole for telling my daughter I won't budge even if she never speaks to me again? My daughter, Casey, 17 female, worked and saved up money for around a year to be able to afford a better car than we could buy her with our family budget. My other daughter, Alana, 16 female, has ADHD. She recently got her driver's license and asked to drive Casey's car. Casey allowed it, and Alana ended up having a bad accident around 6 months ago, which basically rendered the car unusable. The insurance payout wasn't nearly enough to cover the replacement, and with Alana's medical bills from the accident, thankfully there was no permanent damage, just a broken arm and leg. There was no way we could afford to replace Casey's car immediately. Alana was very apologetic to Casey, and so were we, since we couldn't afford to replace her car. Casey didn't accept our apology and has been basically avoiding us, skipping family dinners and pretty much pretending that her mom, Alana, and I don't exist, and only talks to us if she needs a form signed for her school. I begged her to come to a family therapy session, and she eventually relented, but with the condition that Alana wouldn't be present. Oh my God. In the therapy session, she told us that she wouldn't be resuming a relationship with us until we replaced the car, which realistically wouldn't be until next year. And when the therapist asked how she expected us to do that, Casey said we could just make Alana work to earn the money. Wow. The issue is that Alana has severe ADHD and already has trouble managing her schoolwork. I'm worried that making her work to earn money will harm her grades and have significant ramifications for her future. Casey said, well, she should have thought about that before destroying my car. I don't care. I'm not going to speak to any of you unless you have my car replaced. I responded that she was free to avoid speaking to me for as long as she wanted to, but I'm not going to permanently harm her sister's future to give her a car earlier. My wife agrees with me that we need to stand firm in our position, but also I'm genuinely afraid of Casey never speaking to her ever again. That's not going to happen. That is, you're not the asshole. That's some Lord of the Flies kid shit. That is some immature kid shit.
Like, I'm angry right now.
That's crazy.
If this was my kid, I mean, teenagers can be like assholes, but my God, something like, how does she even, there's just not even a bone in my, like, I would never speak to my mother that way. My God.
And also, your sister gets in an accident, almost dies.
Yes, breaks her arm and her leg, and then you say that she wrecked your car, like it was on purpose or something. Like, it'd be different if she was out partying and she let somebody else drive, but there's just so many other, this is like ridiculous.
And even then,
it's
a fucking car.
I've had a family member before I was a YouTuber and all that stuff crash my car and like damage it. I didn't give a shit. It's a car. It's a thing.
The comments are all, she is the asshole, or he is the asshole. The parents are the asshole.
Interesting.
That's so strange to me.
Are these like all 17-year-olds commenting on this?
I don't know. Am I the asshole for rethinking my whole relationship after my fiance invited his ex to our wedding? So I am 28 years old, am engaged to my fiance, and we've been together for 4 years. Honestly, it's been great for the most part. He's thoughtful, kind, and we've always communicated well until recently. A few weeks ago, he casually mentioned that he wanted to invite his ex-girlfriend, Sarah, to our wedding. They dated for about 5 years and broke up like 7 years ago. He keeps saying they're just friends and there's nothing between them anymore. From what I know, their breakup was kind of messy and they didn't talk for a while after it. I don't know Sarah personally, but from what I've heard, she was a pretty big part of his life back then. When he first brought it up, I was shocked. Like, who invites their ex to their wedding? It just feels super inappropriate to me. This is supposed to be our day, and now he wants to bring someone who was literally a big part of his past relationship history. I told him I wasn't comfortable with it at all, and he got defensive. He said it's his wedding too, duh, and that he should be able to invite people who are important to him. He even said that his family would love to see her there since they all still like her. I just feel like, why is he putting her feelings before mine? I feel like the wedding should be about celebrating us and not bringing in people from old relationships. Every time I try to talk to him about it, how I feel, he says I'm overreacting and being insecure and that I don't trust him. That's weird.
Gaslight.
And that's not it at all. I do trust him. I just don't see why she needs to be involved in our day. Now I'm seriously rethinking everything. If he can't respect how uncomfortable this makes me, what's next? Am I crazy for considering calling off the whole wedding because of this? I feel like you are not the asshole.
No.
That seems insane.
Not at all. Not at all.
That seems really crazy.
Really long relationship, messy breakup. Oh, family loves her too. That just made me, like, I always put myself into their shoes in this situation. I would just be like,
you'd be mad.
I would be like, I'd think it's a joke at first because it's you.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. I'd be like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I couldn't not think that something else was going on because obviously, I mean, maybe they talk still, which is weird. And
especially if it ended bad.
Itself. Yes.
Yeah. And now they're on good terms. Good enough terms to come to the wedding.
Yeah. That's crazy. Like, I would never do that.
What did the comments say? He obviously wants her there for a reason, and that reason is yet to be communicated properly. If he had been friends with her all the time, sure.
Yeah.
Sure, I guess so. That makes sense.
Yeah, this is weird. This is very weird. I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's very,
strange.
I'm smelling some suspicious behavior.
Yeah. Bit sus.
Bit sus to me.
Am I the asshole for being hurt that wife stayed the night with her ex-boyfriend? What is wrong with you, dude? Wife, 40 of 2 years together with me, 49 male, for 6 years. We're both doctors, and she is traveling to another state next week for a conference. The conference is in a big fun city, so she is staying over a few days extra after the conference. I knew she would see and hang out for a day with an ex while on this trip. He is a physician there. They seem totally normal to me. This is an ex from when she was in medical school 12 years ago. It ends up that the ex lives in a suburb of the big city, and she's going to travel there and spend one night at his house. I found this out at a work party when someone asked her about her travel plans. I feel like this violates basic expectations of a marriage and that it indicates that she places little value on the relationship. On top of that, I feel like I feel more than a little humiliated at how I found out and the faces that two colleagues made. Yeah, no, you're definitely not the asshole. Your wife is cheating on you for sure. That's crazy.
I can't believe that she's like, oh yeah, and I'm also staying at my ex's house while she has a cocktail in her
she didn't even say that.
No, like
she found that out.
At a party,
Yeah.
she said that.
Yeah.
in front of it. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
Why do people think this is okay? It's one thing to be at like in the same city and meet for coffee, which I also think is still inappropriate.
What's up with all these ex things? Would I be the asshole for not forgiving my husband for cheating me with his ex-wife? No! What? You wouldn't be the asshole. What? Am I the asshole for refusing to get my daughter with severe social anxiety a service dog and forcing her to get a part-time job after what she did? Huh? Oh, wow.
Okay.
My daughter, 15, suffers from severe social anxiety. It is incredibly crippling and has prevented her from many extracurriculars and her education over the years. She started homeschooling her and put her in therapy. She's trying not to shame her for social anxiety. It is debilitating to live with, and she can see that firsthand. Last month, the therapist recommended getting a service dog for the daughter in order to help out her and help her navigate public settings better. The daughter seemed excited, and she was initially on board, but then she started the necessary research. A few weeks ago, I left my daughter with my sister-in-law for a few days because my mom was sick and I needed to visit her a few hours away when my husband was on a work trip. The plan was for my SIL to continue her homeschooling for as many hours as she could manage, but instead I got a call from her 2 days in demanding I take my daughter back home. I came to find out that my sister-in-law had to leave the house for a few hours and asked my daughter to take care of her senior dog. This dog is very old and small. She was adopted just over a year ago, so she is a bit wary of people. My daughter, in an attempt to recreate some stupid online video, took this senior dog to the roof of the house and left her there. The poor thing was so scared, she shit herself on the roof, shaking while my daughter filmed. Of course, this didn't go to plan, and the dog ended up falling off the roof and into a swimming pool out of sheer luck. However, due to the age and size of the dog, it broke a few ribs in her paw. Your daughter's a psychopath. That's crazy.
I have like chills. This is horrific.
That's insane.
I didn't expect this.
When I heard this, I was absolutely livid. I confronted my daughter immediately, and she admitted to wanting to create a video online that she saw. I've never seen any video like that in my life.
In the dark web? What?
Yeah, the red room? What's wrong with your daughter, bro? She watches gore.
Yeah.
She then proceeded to use a defense that went along the lines of, the dog is old. If it were younger, then nothing would have happened. She also mentioned that she didn't really think that what she did was bad because it is an unloved shelter dog with no real value like a service dog or a newborn puppy. Your daughter is a fucking psycho. Literally. This is crazy. I was very upset to hear these words coming out of my daughter's mouth. I have no idea where she learned this from, considering neither me nor my husband share the same beliefs. This is like some ultra rationalist, like weird, anti-empath, psychopath fucking logic.
Yeah.
I instantly told my daughter that she would not be getting a service dog. I also told her that she would have to pay the aunt's vet bill no matter what it took because the bill is in the thousands. She'll have to find a way to make that money. My daughter has since been attempting to search for a part-time job that requires minimal face-to-face interaction, and in spite of me and my husband helping, she was only able to find a waitress job. I asked my sister-in-law if she was okay with my daughter working the vet bill off instead, but she refused, saying she really had no interest in having my daughter anywhere near her house or dog again. Yeah. And I honestly thought that was fair enough. So I told my daughter she had to find a way to stick with this because the vet bill was her responsibility only. That is insane. Your daughter is legitimately a psycho. That's so fucking weird.
What is the last thing? My daughter's therapist also reached out saying she thinks it was wrong of me to completely take the service idea off the table, considering it as a medical necessity. That's crazy too. Is this therapist looking over the fact that she just committed violence to a dog?
Yeah, and filmed it. That is, I say lock her up, dude.
I make a lot of serial videos.
Crazy.
That's a tick.
That's fucking crazy.
This is crazy.
For one, neglecting just a dog in any way.
Yeah.
Like putting it on until it shits.
Yeah. But leaving it on the
and
roof
filming
alone.
It, and then it falls into the pool. What? Either this is fake or this is fucking insane.
It sounds too...
Sounds too real.
Too real. Like, how could you even come up with this?
Imagine you, like, the social anxiety, for one, has nothing to do with any of this.
No!
By the way, a lot of people have social anxiety.
Social anxiety because she's a fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
She can't relate to people.
Yeah.
That's harsh.
Fuck that bitch.
But...
that's crazy.
I don't care. She hurt a dog, so
yeah,
I don't like her at all.
That is insane.
I don't like her at all.
Sociopath.
Wow.
Psychopath.
Yeah, if my kid did this, man, I'd be like,
oh my God.
I'm locking you up.
I'm putting you in a sound hole with a guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.